Hello, how are you today? My name is Shannon and this is my YouTube channel, Whisky and Wool. You're watching Knitter's Life Series Season 6, Episode 2. Welcome back, welcome new viewers. I want to start with, I'm going to talk to you about my crafting, mostly about my knitting and spinning. I filmed a lot of footage, some progression stuff and things like that, so this might be full of some of that info. But I do have a few announcements right at the top, and one of them I feel like I probably should have said last time, but actually two of them I should have said last time, these first two. All right, so first off, I just want to acknowledge the horrors and outrage that I'm feeling about what is happening to U.S. citizens and people who have immigrated here. I am mortified. Is that the right word? I'm horrified. I'm horrified by what I'm seeing on the news and what I'm seeing happening in Minneapolis in particular, from the death of Renee Good through the terror that is being felt around that city and elsewhere in the U.S. and in the international sphere too, what our government is threatening to do to sever ties with NATO, and it's scary. It's a really scary world. I am encouraged by the fact that a bipartisan group of Congress people headed over to Greenland to let them know that they stood with them. And, you know, it may not be clear because our GOP members of Congress have ceded so much power to the president, but Congress is actually more powerful than the president here under constitutional governance. That being said, all of this being said, I will bring me to my second point. I am not inviting comment and discussion on these topics. If you want to talk about them, go talk about them on your own channels. I don't want to engage with people who are not equally horrified by the latest things that have been going on, and the fact that we have a federal government protecting pedophiles. I mean, all the things. I just wanted to acknowledge these horrors that are going on currently here in the United States, because I'm coming to you from northern New Jersey of the U.S. I live in the metro New York City area. I'm right across the Hudson River from New York City. We're not seeing a lot of ice activity here. It's sporadic. It's a first of all, Jersey, people don't mess with Jersey much. We're small. We're a small state. There was a little kerfluffle around this time of year last year in Newark, but there's not a lot of activity here. I think in a dense metro area, it's pretty hard to make a huge impact the way that they are in Minneapolis, which is a much smaller city. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not inviting discussion on this. This is a knitting channel. I just needed to get out of the way some of it occurred to me, and it was pointed out to me by a couple other people, that acknowledging the horrors it's important. So I just wanted to get that out. And then in terms of discussion, I welcome your comments and thoughts on my knitting projects. If you think I'm making a horrible mistake, please let me know. Reach out. You can always DM me if you're mortified about telling me something mortifying. But you're also welcome to comment. I take comments about my knitting projects in stride, even if they are criticism. I learn from so-called criticism or from comments, or certainly encouragement is also welcome. And I often like to hear what it is you did if I'm trying to solve a problem, which I have a problem I'm going to show you later. And yeah, anyway. So yes, but having said that, I do not welcome comments on things about my behavior or about things that I say that are not knitting related. So, for instance, for example, if you don't like my lipstick, I don't care. I want you to know that I have actual real life friends and family that watch this channel. And if I'm doing something really dumb, like if I say something dumb that's not knitting related, they will tell me. If I am wearing a horrible color lipstick, they will tell me. So you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to. I don't want to hear about it. I consider those comments mean-spirited and they will just be deleted. So having said that, I had to delete a comment for the first time in a long time on my last episode because I made a comment about receiving an inheritance and someone thought that was crass. I'm sorry, I disagree. I don't think it's crass. If you think it's crass to talk about money, my channel's probably not for you because I talk about money when I feel like it. That's a behavioral thing that I have always done. I'm not someone who's like, ooh, hush, hush, gotta be quiet around these money issues. That's just never been me. And it's not gonna start being me now that I'm in my seventh decade of living on this earth. So no, you're not going to. You're not going to change my mind on that. Just don't watch my channel if that's the case. And certainly don't comment on it. I will consider anything about my behavior and things that I say that are not knitting related mean-spirited. And I'll just delete them. Unless you're saying, bravo. Those I like. Because those aren't mean, right? Those are positive. All right. So that's my second announcement. My third announcement is this is actually my 8th anniversary of my channel. I started in 2018 and wow, I mean, those old episodes are so cringy. They are up. Don't go watch them though. They're terrible. I mean, they're all right. I was learning. I had a lot. It's a steep learning curve learning how to, make YouTube videos, editing and stuff. I had a lot of hiccups along the way, but I've learned a lot. And not that this is slick, but this is, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the format. I'm happy with, I enjoy doing it. That's what matters because my channel is not monetized. Someday maybe I'll monetize it. It's not monetized right now. I don't need another master, which is part of the reason why comments about my things I say that are not knitting related are not welcome. Negative comments, I should say. Positive comments, love it. Negative comments, not welcome. Go talk about it on your own channel. Go make a channel and talk about it there. And have at it, because I'll never see it. And if I did, I'd just click away. I wouldn't even bother giving you a thumbs down. That's me, though. So anyway, so that's where we're at. It's my anniversary. 8th year, even though it's my 6th season. So you see, it took me 2 years to figure out that maybe doing seasons instead of numbering my episodes and this would be like episode number, I don't even know, 300 and something probably. I think I have 350 videos, but that includes daily vlogs. There were a few times that I daily vlogged. Those are just a lot of work right now, and I just don't have the bandwidth to do those types of things. I have a pretty important job on a university campus near me, and I have a really big leadership role there, and it really takes a lot of bandwidth away from crafting and all the lovely things that I really want to talk about here. So with that out of the way, all of those announcements out of the way, I hope you understand part of where I'm coming from and that you're not feeling like, oh, that was, too much. Hopefully you understand why I had to say what I have to say. But it's about once a year I probably make an announcement about decorum down in the comment section. And you will see if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of my description box, there is a disclaimer that mean-spirited messages are deleted. So it shouldn't come as any sort of surprise. And, if you're wondering about what the comment I'm talking about, it's long gone. I deleted it as soon as I saw it. And, if you're wondering about the, what she was offended by, you can go watch episode 1 of this season. It's just from a couple weeks ago, and judge for yourself. Was it crass of me to say that I funded my kitchen renovation with a little bit of inheritance money that I got? that was the context in which I said it. I was talking about my kitchen reno. I will have a small update about that. It's underway, so I don't have a lot to share, but I will just share with you some of the funny, surprising things that happened this week. All right, let's get into it. I have a finished object. I'm wearing. I'll stand up briefly, just like kind of a half crouch, just to get into the camera, so you could see. But yeah, I'm wearing vintage flannel by Johanna from the book Strands of Joy, Volume 2. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants that book, reach out to me. DM me. Don't put your info down in the discussions in the comment. DM me, I'll mail it to you. I have that book. There is nothing else in that book I want to make. But if you want to make this or maybe something else in that book, or maybe you just like to collect knitting books, I live in a small apartment and I can't collect books just for the sake of having books. So if I have a book that's not going to do anything else for me, then it needs to leave my space. So I'll donate it to someone. If you want it, reach out to me. It could be you. First come, first serve. Just send me a DM, a direct message over in Ravelry or on Instagram. And don't be discouraged if I don't reply right away. I'm not good at checking either of those with any sort of regularity. I'm probably a little bit better with Ravelry than I am with Instagram, as my friends can attest to. I always tell them, just text me. Why are you messaging me on Instagram? It's like, I just don't look at it much. But anyway, yeah, so I finished vintage flannel. It was a slog. It was a slog. I love the finished product. In fact, it was dry. I dried it overnight. I woke up this morning and had to walk by it on my way to the bathroom. I bent down and found it was dry and put it right on and just continued doing my morning routine. I've been wearing it all day and it is so cozy and comfortable. I am so glad I did the modifications on the shoulders, because this is definitely a sweater that would have been too tight on me through here. This is an area of my body that I always struggle with fit, because I am broader here than I guess my chest and waist and hips are. Or maybe it matches my hips. I'm pretty hippie. I mean, I'm a hippie. I'm definitely a hippie, but I'm also hippie, if you know what I mean. So I am glad that I added, what I did was, and I talk about this every time I do a raglan, I did double the increases. So instead of increasing once on either side of the raglan shaping every other round, as is like sort of that standard raglan increase, I do the first couple rounds that way, and then I double it. So I start doubling how many increases I do. So I do 2 on either side of the raglan markers. So 2, all the way around. So I'm getting 8. Is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 16 increases every other round. That is smoother than doing, I've done it both ways where I've just increased every round. It's smoother to do 2 increases every other. You just get smoother knitting, like a smoother and a nice shape. So yeah, that really saved me, because I probably should have made a slightly bigger size. I underestimated how 2 stranded color work all over the sweater, how much that was going to decrease the circumference. So it's a little bit snugger than I like. I think it's fine. I think it's wearable. It's not unwearable. Oh, and just to finish that thought, I do that until I'm done doing the increases for my size. So my increases will stop sooner than it will, and then the way the pattern's written, which also gives me more control with how big my yoke drop is. Because if you're continuing to increase and you're like passing through the zone of what is a comfortable yoke drop for you, for me it's somewhere in that 8 to 10 inches. 10 is the max. I really like 9. I like 9, 9.5. I'm still on board. It gets to 10. Okay, that's okay. It's kind of big, but it's okay. And then beyond that, I'm done. cannot tolerate more than 10 inches in the yoke drop. So, yeah, so my decreases stopped early. So you can kind of see from the plaid, you can see my yoke increases stopped right here. But that was great because this is the area that I need all the width in. So I was able to get all the width I needed early on, and then I was able to just keep knitting until I was done with the length that I wanted, and then I could move on to the body, separating of the sleeves and the body. So it was really well fitted. Then this part, so I do have ease in here. I just wish maybe there was a little bit more, because this is, I mean, it's stranded, so it's double thickness of yarn, so it's really warm. I wish it was a little looser because I would get a little more air in there, but it's okay, it's fine, it's wearable. I also am doubting how the length a little bit. I kind of wish it was a little longer. Oh, I'll pop a picture in of me. I'm just wearing my yoga pants today, so it's just with my yoga pants. I am going to wear this to Vogue, and I will style it, and I'll have other pictures. So there will be updated styled pictures on my Ravelry page, and probably I'll post them on Instagram too, in the near future. So Vogue is in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weekends. Yeah, so Vogue is in 2 weeks, so I will be, if you see me at Vogue Knitting Live, New York City, if you're coming, do stop and say hi. I really, really love meeting viewers. It's so exciting to just have a quick chat with you, and, you know, and just, yeah, say hi. Come over and say hi. Because you know what I look like, but I don't know what you look like. So, except for a handful of you who are my friends, my actual friends, my real life friends. Anyway, what else can I tell you about this? The yarn. So it actually didn't use a lot of yarn. My main color is this lovely blue yarn from Jill Draper Make Stuff, the Ansel Sapphire 2, colored weight Sapphire 2. I bought this in 2020, so I've had this a while. You're gonna see that I have a lot of stash. I don't have a lot of stash. This is my stash behind me. I don't have a lot. I have a significant amount, but I do have some old stash, some yarn that I purchased without a plan. So this was yarn I purchased without a plan. We were in shutdown for the pandemic when I purchased this in like March or April of 2020. And I don't know, I wanted yarn. So I got some. And then the white is this beautiful 100% Debouillet by Heritage Wool Company, which is part of Indie Untangled, owned by Indie Untangled, where I think Lisa is her name of the woman who owns Indie Untangled. She mostly runs events, but so that might be where you hear the name, where if you know the name, she mostly runs events, but she makes yarn, I guess, too. Sometimes I'm not a religious follower of what she does. I'm, you know, anyway, this was milled by Clara Parks. Hopefully you know who that is. She's a prolific writer and scholar of wool scholar, I think is probably a good way to put it. So I had 2 skeins of this. I used just about 20% of this second skein. So, and then the blue, this is my second skein. I have 3 skeins. 2 got knitted into this with this little bit left. I still have 1 full skein. So this really it used a little over 3 skeins of fingering weight. These were both fingering weight, right around 400 yards. The Ansel is 440 yards. It's a 4-ounce skein, and the I really can't read this because it's faded. Oh, look at that. I have something black on my thumb. If you think that's crass, don't tell me. I know it is. How embarrassing. Don't know what that is. Actually, I know what it is. It's probably my eyeliner. All right. So yeah, that is a vintage flannel. It's a cute little sweater. It's kind of cool, and it's like hearkening back to a varsity sweater style with the word knit. Oh, and I also eliminated the word pearl. There was if you've been here a while, because I started this in September. This is like the 4 months it took me to finish this sweater. It never takes me that long. I used to knit a sweater a month. I don't know what happened to me over the last year. I think maybe it was my job blowing up and becoming more intense than usual. Than it had been. It'll go to being less intense, I think, if our federal government calms down a bit and our president of our university spends more time listening to me and other frontline employees, because he's doing some things that are wildly unpopular, and he's getting it, though. He's getting it. Understanding. He's getting the vibe, catching the vibe from us. As part of my job is letting him know when we're unhappy. And we let him know when we're happy too. So that's it's a lot. Anyway, I digressed. All right, let me keep talking about my knits. I'm going to talk to you about this is going to be a surprise that this is not a problem, my non-problematic project before I talk to you about it's not a huge problem, but it's a little bit of a problem. All right, I am also knitting the Harvest Flower Sweater by Jessie Made Design. And I haven't gotten that much further. I decided to knit a sleeve because, as you may remember if you were here last time, I was concerned about the fit in that same area, this area right here. I was concerned it was going to be tight, and so I blocked it. It's fine. It's not any tighter than this one. But then I worried that the section just below it, this section here, was also going to be uncomfortably tight. And I thought if I made a sleeve, I'd be able to tell. So I've got enough of a sleeve made. I keep trying it on to know that it's going to be fine. It's going to fit similarly to this one in terms of the ease. And again, I think it's been a while since I've made color work. So I think it's that color work underestimating the ease you need in a colorwork sweater thing, because some of the trouble that I experienced that I shared with you last time was really mostly related to my not making a big enough size, but also related to this issue with this section of my body where I really need a lot of width right here, and the increases didn't happen fast enough here. I got to the right chest measurement, chest width. It's just that in the path of going from the neck to the chest to the full bust was not rapid enough for me. And I did do a couple modifications besides that. I did modify the color work. One of my viewers, when I first talked about making this, I did a cast on with me. It's a different series. If you're new here, I have a different series called Cast On With Me, where I take a deep dive into my into cast-ons that I'm making, and I'm hoping to do one tomorrow. Don't think it'll launch tomorrow. I think I'll probably launch it next weekend, but I'm hoping to at least film a cast on with me tomorrow. Yeah, so they pointed out to me that there was a phallus symbol right in here in the color work, and so I put it on a chat with some of my friends and all knitters, and they had some ideas for me, and it was really nice to talk to knitters about knitting problems. So I solved it by lengthening the leaves right here so that you didn't end up with that like really like penis shape in there. So that was one mod. The other mod I did, because I saw another knitter online had done, I'll put a picture of her knit here, which has her Instagram handle if you want to follow her. She's such a good follow. She did speckles here in the middle, and I really like that, so I copied her. And then this bird's eye sort of stitch, because you also do bird's eye down here, and so I thought that would kind of tie together nicely. The third mod I did was that I split for the sleeves before I was done with the color work, because going back to that same issue that I talked about with this sweater, I didn't want a 10-inch plus armhole drop. So I stopped when I reached 9.5, I think, knowing that it was probably going to grow a bit. And it did, I think. I'm probably closer to 10, although I'll report back when I know. So yeah, so I do have a little bit of color work, about 10 or 12 rows of color work that have had to be knit on the sleeve, which isn't too bad. And after I split. I did not like doing the 3 colors. I will now make a point of avoiding having to do 3 colors of stranded color work. It wasn't fun. I did not like it. It was more frequent than I had thought. I thought it was just a handful of rows. I didn't look at it close though. Like if you look at it close, if you go look at the pattern, you could figure it out pretty fast. You can also see that phallic symbol if you look at what I'm talking about. If you look at the pattern pictures and other knitters' patterns or projects, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I actually think like my modification on those leaves is fine. I did make a mistake where you could see like there's a little jog right there. I wish that line was smooth, but I think it's all right. It's not great, but it's okay. It's okay. I just was I should have colored it. I should have printed the chart and colored it in so I could have understood exactly where to stitch, but I just kind of freewheeled it. But I think it's fine. You probably wouldn't have noticed if I didn't point it out, because there is some jaggedness to those leaves anyway. All right, the yarn, I love the yarn. So my main color is Brooklyn Tweed Arbor. It's this in the colorway Kettle, so it's black. It is a Targhee, 100% American Targhee. And yeah, DK weight. And my the rest of the colors were scraps. You don't need much. I think it's not a lot. You could look at the yardage, but I think it's less than a skein. I'm using the mint green is called Mint, and it's by Santa's Garn. It's one of the petite knit colors. And it's the double Sunday. It's all DK. The yellow is by Ching. It's called Yellow Yellow. It's her dashing DK. And then the pink is by Haynes House. In the colorway called We Listen. And all 3 of those colors were leftovers from other projects. So I think so I'm knitting on size 8 needles, US size 8, which, apologies, I don't know the millimeters. Is that 5 or is that 4.5 millimeters? I cannot recall. I hardly ever knit this big. I almost always make fingering weight sweaters, just because I prefer to wear fingering weight sweaters. I would love to knit, worsted and DK weight, but I just don't wear those sweaters too much. That weight of sweaters all that much. It's a real short period of time, I find, in the climate that we live in, that I live in here, that you can wear heavy sweaters like that, because I'm not outside all day. I'm inside most of the day. I'm outside for short periods of time unless I'm traipsing around New York City. And this is a DK weight sweater, and it's color work, so it's going to be warm, and I really want to finish it. So I'm glad to be knitting on big needles. I'll be honest, I didn't knit on this all this much because I was trying to get this done, and I'm trying to get this next project done, which I will show you now. This is where I have a little bit of a problem, although by the time you see this and comment, I probably will have moved on, but nevertheless, it might be helpful for other people to hear and read your way of solving it. I am almost done with the Awesomer Gossamer by Stephen West. This shawl is freaking massive. It is a fuzzy shawl. Stephen makes his out of mohair. I had in my stash a whole bunch of Surrey silk and some cashmere silk, fuzzy cashmere's lace that all just happen to be in the pink family. I ended up having to buy one color. It's an 8-color shawl, so believe it or not, like all the rest of these yarns were already in my stash. And I'm kind of over the whole hold a strand of fuzzy yarn with a strand of wool thing. Not that it's, I don't think the trend is over per se. I think it's going to be around a while. I have 2, 3, 4 sweaters in my wardrobe already that are like that. They're really warm and I don't want any more. So I'm really happy to use up my fuzzy yarns and not have that as a temptation to add to other sweaters. I do still have, I have some blue shades of fuzzy yarns, and I have some scraps. I have a lot of like small balls of leftover mohair and stuff in my stash. And I have some gray. I have some gray cashmere lace, and I have some blue mohair silk in my stash. And I have white, but I always use white. I have a plan for the white. The other two I don't have a plan for. I'll be talking more about the gray though coming up in this year, because I have been looking. I've been kind of a little obsessed, but I'll talk more about that when I get to the cast on with me with that, about that yarn. I'll talk to you about my process, about how I figured out what I want to make, because I'm still not sure, and I'm still thinking about it, and I'm still processing. But yeah, I've already done a little footage. All right, so all of these were in my stash. And I am on the lace border, so I'm super close to being done. Right here. So you do these bubbles. He has you do well, for you start with this garter, this little garter, stitch half quarter shawl, half shawl, half moon. And then you go to small bubbles, and you take the same 8 colors. It's 8 colors, but you're combining them in 8 ways. So every section is 2 colors held together, a strand of each held together, and then you kind of do this. I mean, I think some people did it, like if you look at Steven's patterns or his pictures of this pattern, he did a beautiful job with his fade. It's just really gorgeous, this gorgeous gradient. Mine is more joggy because I was putting together stash, lace weight fuzzy yarns that I had in my stash. I made it work. I ended up buying one color, this one here. I bought this at Vogue last year, and I cast this on right after that. Steven had a glow along for this pattern, and I guess other patterns too if you were using his glow hair, which is their mohair, his mohair line of West wool. And yeah, that came and went, and I was still working on it. I finally just put this in hibernation because I was tired of it. It's a real long, this is about 4,000 yards. So last time I talked to you about the yardage that I used for the year. This is already a quarter of the yardage that I used last year. It's a lot of yardage. So if you consider like a typical fingering weight sweater is about 1,200 yards in my size, this is 4 times as much, no, 3.5 times as much. Although you are holding 2 strands together, but still, this is a whole lot of knitting. I have more than 700 stitches on the needles right now. So each row takes me a really long time. Yeah, so you do the bubbles, garter, bubbles and small repeating those 8 colors, and then you go to a slightly bigger bubble stitch, repeating those 8 colors, and then you go to the largest bubble stitch, repeating those 8 colors, and then you finally end with a lace border. Now, here's my issue. I ran out of one of the colors, and I just ran out of one of the colors. So the color was this like soft purple there that I am supposed to hold with, I mean, it's literally like I knit the last inch right in. I'm supposed to be holding it with this next, so it would be, this is a cashmere lace from Moondrake. All the yarn on this project will be down in the description box. I don't want to spend time going through them. I've done it a few times and it just takes a long time. So yeah, so I've got, just looking at the colors, I've got the lace border done in this color, and this combo here. But then I'm supposed to take that purple color. I drop this dusty pink out and I put this color in, this lilac, and knit the purple with the lilac for the next section, and then etc., 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 you know, those next 4. So I'm out of the purple, and I think what I'm going to do is just skip it. I think my lace border is just going to be 7 colors because it's already monstrous, and I have plenty of everything else. I have plenty. Like, all those rest are practically full skeins, so I'm not going to run out of any of the rest of them. Actually, wait, not 100% true. This one, I think I have another full skein though that I didn't cake up. So I'm gonna have to dig that out if I run out. I'm gonna have to rummage around through my stash behind me, because I think in one of those baskets I have one more skein, so I might be okay. Probably okay, because I'm not sure this is gonna be enough. It's so many stitches. This has to make it 8 rows for that lace. So we'll see. We'll see how I do. Yeah, so that is my conundrum. I think I'm going to skip it. I thought about carrying along what's left of this. This is the 3rd color, the dusty rose color. This is the color, this is a unique yarn. It's mohair and suri and maybe wool and nylon. I don't remember exactly. Go look in the description box. It's pretty unique. I learned about it at Vogue last year. It was a Peruvian company that came and had a display booth, and they were running a show special, so I purchased it for this project. I thought about holding this with the lilac from Moondrake, but it would make a different color, so that doesn't feel right. It would look fine together, and if I had done that all the way through, it would have been fine, but I didn't. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just skip one color, and it will be noticeable to people who really look at it closely, but I don't know. It's probably my least favorite combo. It's my least favorite color, that purple that I ran out of. So, and these, like, the thing with these 2 sections, they look so close. They look so similar. So I think that purple's just super dominant. Yeah, so it'll look like this instead. Wait. Let me just pinch that out. That. Because I will still have all of this down to here. I think it'll be all right. What would you do? Maybe other people may have a similar problem. I think in such a busy color work, or not color work, but such a busy with lots of colors going on in it, I don't think it's going to be all that noticeable. Right? Let me open that up a bit so you can see the lace is really pretty. I am enjoying knitting the lace, but I have to say, sometimes when I get busy watching a show or something, I get involved and I stop counting stitches. I have made mistakes, and ripping out this hairy yarn is really no joke. It's a lot. It's a lot of it's kind of stressful, but isn't that pretty? I do really like it. Also, my God, this is so big, and I'm in the middle of renovations, so I've got, like, my living room is topsy-turvy right now, and I don't know where I'm going to block this. Like, I don't know if I have the space to lay it out. It better freaking dry fast if I do. I might have space in my bedroom. So that may end up work. I'm going to have to, like, block it one morning, lay it out, and hope that it's dry by the following morning. Because it is huge. I can tell already. And I remember, like, other podcasters like Beth McDonald Stone made one, and I remember her showing it, and it was really huge. I think she laid it out on her couch, if I recall, from the video when she made it last year. She finished hers, and well, I was doing my best, but I ended up, like, distracted with other knitting. But anyway, this is going to go to one of my son's partners. She is she has a lot of health issues, like physical health issues, and she likes comfy, cozy. Like she'll have periods of time where she just has to chill, basically, like sit. And she's been making jokes that she's fully embracing her grandma era. She's in her 20s, so she's not anything close to a grandma. And so I just thought I would help her reach that grandma era, and gift her a shawl. So her birthday was yesterday, so this is for her birthday. She doesn't know yet. I haven't seen her yet. I think I'm seeing her next weekend, so I'm really gonna be doing my best to get through this and finish. I think I can. It's at this point it's 4 more sections of the, yeah, right, because I'll do this, these 4. I have these 4 more colors. 4 rows each. It's not that many rows. What is it, 32 rows? Is that right? 4 times 4. No, 16 rows. But 750, 60 stitches, something like that. Over 700 stitches of slippy, hairy yarn. All right. How we doing? Getting up there. All right, I have some quick spinning updates. Oh my goodness, my spinning projects have also been taking me much longer than I thought. So I spun my first sommelier fiber club from Melly Knits. This is the Jiggly Butt club. Jiggly Butt August, from August. Also Canadian, not US. Price there. I forget what I spent. It wasn't that much. It wasn't 65. It was less, because I think for now our dollar is still higher. We get a lower price on Canadian goods, but then we pay tariffs, and that's insane. But anyway, yeah, so this is my finished skein. It ended up being lace weight. I made a 2-ply. That's not my standard. My standard is a 3-ply. I just decided to do 2-ply because generally speaking, when I do these more rustic, this is not rustic at all though, it's so soft and squishy. When I do like more farm yarn, farm-ish type of spins, they tend to poof a lot. But I just think Melly does a really good job with her processing, and there's not a lot of oils left in the wool like there can be when you buy farm fiber. And it poofed, but not all that much. But I ended up with like 570 yards. So I think I might hold 2 strands together, which would give me what, like little short of 300 yards. It'd be like kind of a DK weight, because I was planning on making a cable hat with this because I think it's a good color for me. And I think I can still do it if I hold 2 strands together, or I could put this back on the spinning wheel and make a 4-ply. We'll see. It is a merino yak blend. It's 85% merino and 15% yak. This was August club. It's an every other month club. So I have 2 more. I'm just looking for the paper on my other skein that I'm going to show you. I don't have it here. So I have 2 more bats from Melly to spin. And I'll get to those at some point. I'm working on something else right now, but before I show you that, let me show you this, because this I finished yesterday. This is fiber by Renovation. I bought it in where did I buy it? I bought it in I want to say I bought it in 2024. I think I bought it towards the end of 2024. I bought a fiber pack, and I didn't realize that it wasn't roving. I think it was scoured, but it wasn't carded. So I ended up carding it, and I made a 65 gram bat with this gray color, this natural gray color. And this ended up, I chain plied it, so it's a 3-ply. I don't really like chain plying all that much. I find it really, and I've heard other spinners say this. It's not relaxing to chain ply because your hands are constantly like you almost have to move your whole body because you're reaching to pull the yarn through. And I had a couple times where the strand broke because my tension, like as your bobbin's filling, you have to change your tension, and as your bobbin is emptying on your Lazy Kate, you have to change your tension. And so there were just a couple moments where I needed to change the tension, and I was pushing it to see if I could avoid doing that just so I could finish up. But anyway, I ended up with 165 yards of this really beautiful, soft, squishy 3-ply. You could see there. There was a little unevenness despite me carding it. There were some neps, I guess, in there. But it's fine. That's one of the reasons to 3-ply, to make a 3-ply, because those thick, thin moments get evened out better. Okay. A new knitting related acquisition. I purchased The Art of the Sea, which is 23 knit designs inspired by the Moomins. It's put out by Lana Publishing. I bought it from Starlight Knitting Society in Oregon. I thought about waiting to get it for at Vogue, maybe to see if I could pick it up at Vogue Knitting next weekend, but or 2 weekends from now. But I couldn't. Anyway, I did a thumb through. I'm going to put here. I did a process of thumb through and I stopped on the ones that I am particularly interested in. Before I bought the book, without realizing it, I ended up queuing 5 different patterns in here. It's got 23 designs. I think that's pretty good. Definitely worth buying. And I ended up buying it from Starlight Knitting Society also because all in, I ended up paying less than what the book is selling for, like if you bought it at a yarn shop. So I had some discount stuff. So I ended up, like, including shipping and everything, I got it for like under $40, just under $40. I wanted to share this book that I picked up. I am a little bit obsessed with a few sweaters in this book, and hope to cast on one at least soon. This is called The Art of the Sea. It's published by Lana Publishing LP, and it is 23 knitwear designs inspired by the Moomins, which is a Finlandian originated character, which I'm sure there's a picture of in here somewhere. But not to do a full review of the book, this is the woman that created the Moomins. I was hoping, so that is the Moomin character on the sweater there. So there's 23 designs, and it's set up just like a pattern book. So you see designed by many different people. Get back to the page. So after I flip this page, there'll be the directions, which I don't really want to share. So I'm going to just show you I'm going to just flip the pages, and I'm going to stop when I reach one that is one that I quite like. There's a few. I've queued no less than 5. Okay, I really like this one. It's called Shelter, and it's an oversized polo collar, drop shoulder. It's really pretty. The only thing I don't like is that the texture is just on the front. I would like it to be, I don't mind the sleeves being plain, but I would like it to be on the back too. So there's that. More pictures of it. Not really sure what the texture is. I haven't looked that close. That one's really cute too. That is called Flower Loop. I love this one. I've actually already purchased yarn. This is called Hard to Turn Pages. This is called Inner Moomin. It's really cool. So this is made out of, you really can't see because it's all these neutrals. It's made out of 4 different colors. And I purchased shades of white, natural, and then also a couple shades of beige, and then red. So I'm going to do a pop of red. It's a worsted weight sweater. Really, really love it. Hoping to cast that on soon. That'll probably be the first one I cast on. It's really pretty. Also, this was, funny enough, this was the first one I queued. This is called Le Blouse. And it is a lace weight knit, but knit on big needles, I believe. I haven't looked too closely at it. It was just, I have some lace weight cashmere that's in my stash. I think I have about 1,000 yards, so it's a significant amount. I've just been looking for something to knit out of it, and I have a few ideas. I'll talk to you more about that later, but this is one possibility for that yarn. I do like it. It's unique. Some socks. This one's really pretty too. It's called Moo Mellow. Really like that one. That one's cute too. There's a lot of really cool designs. That one looks a little bit too like camo to me. Stripe. Not really sure what the stitch is. Half fisherman's rib. There's one of the Moomin characters. And this is one that they really loved. This one's beautiful. It is called Midsummer. I really like this one. I think the other one I like is at the end. It's this one. I really love this one. This one is called Into the Forest. It's really pretty. Anyway, check it out. I almost forgot the kitchen renovation. If you're not interested, then I'm pretty much done talking about the knitting. But if you are interested, I have a couple quick updates on the kitchen renovation. They have partially demoed my kitchen. All of my stuff is here in the living room. All my kitchen stuff is here in the living room. And the rest of the demo is going to happen over the next couple days. They ran into a hiccup over the plumbing because the shut-off valves under the sink wouldn't shut the water off completely. The water comes up through really strong. I have really great water pressure here in this building that I'm in. So they have to do some fiddling with that, and the building needs a 48-hour notice before they shut off water, because they'll shut off water for the whole building for in order to fix the shut-off valve in my apartment. So yeah, that's a long way of saying like the whole demo will probably be done on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. And they started the electric work, and that was an adventure for my contractor. I have to say, like, I loved that my contractor loved doing the work. Like, I could just see the joy on his face. Like, he was just having such a great time, like, looking at this old stuff and, like, trying to figure it out. But like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you've ever lived in an old building or in an old house, an old home. I guess when they decided they needed another line, they just ran the electric line. They didn't thread them through a breaker box. I don't know when breaker boxes became a thing. Exactly. This building was built in the 1920s, so it must have been before that. It must have been after that, I mean. So he found a line that should have been in at least its own box in my living room. So I'm going to show you. I did take some clips. I took some footage that I'll lay over as I talk, if it makes sense, of how my living room looked while they were doing this investigation into the he ended up getting a camera and putting a camera in the wall to find where the wires were. And it turns out, like, I have an AC in my living room, and I have a window AC in my living room, window AC in my bedroom. At some point, someone ran a separate line for the AC in the living room. So my AC's been on its own line this whole time, which is interesting. I have a super efficient AC. So what happens in my apartment, though, because the electric is pretty janky, and part of this renovation is improving the electric in the apartment. What happens in my apartment is, like, when my refrigerator kicks in, or my microwave goes on, or my coffee machine is percolating, the lights dim. But it never happens with the AC, and it never occurred to me that maybe the AC was on its own cable. So it has 30 amps all to itself. So he's going to do some renovating of the electric, but for that cable, because the cable is just hanging out in the wall. Which is crazy to me. Apparently there's another apartment in the building that I have been talking to the resident there, and he told me that he has 3 breaker boxes because of this pattern. Like, he has 3 boxes in his apartment. They're not all consolidated into one. And at some point, I think in the early 2000s, the state changed its regulations and determined that every unit in old buildings like mine needed to have their own breaker box, and that tenants should not have to run downstairs to turn their power on and off. So a breaker box was installed, but it was never hooked up. So the previous owner never paid the money to do that work, which I just thought is crazy. Like, the woman who owned my place owned it for about 18 years before I bought it, and she just did the bare bone minimum. Like, if something broke, she fixed it, but not even in a good way. Like, a lot of the repairs in the apartment are really horrible. Like, they were just badly done. Like, I could do better, and I'm an artist, but I'm not a crafts person in terms of, like, construction crafting and stuff like that. So, I fixed a lot of what they did when I first moved in. Yeah, so he's having a good old time, like, exploring all this stuff. He did find so the breaker box was installed in a dumbwaiter in my hallway, which I think I have footage of, and the one that they installed in the 2000s, but the actual breaker box was in the wall in the kitchen. So there's one over here, one connection over here in the living room in the wall, and then one in the kitchen in the wall behind tile. So if it ever needed fixing, they would have had to break through the tile and the wall board to get to the wires, which is insane to me. Like, what? So he's going to rewire all of that. He's going to connect everything to a breaker box so that I'm not dealing with that issue. And he's going to be upgrading the ampage. I'm having an electric induction and induction, 1 unit, convection oven, induction range installed. So that needs its own special plug. Like, it's like a 5-prong plug, which for the US, that's weird because most of ours are 2 or 3 plugs. 3 is considered a grounded plug, and 2 is ungrounded, but it's still fine for, like, lamps. So that's wild. So he's going to be doing that work. So he now he's got the electric as far along as he can, because he found all these wires behind the tile in the kitchen. He just wants to demo the kitchen and then do all the rest of the electric work, which is totally fine. So I moved out of my kitchen 5 days ago. I don't miss it much. That's the biggest surprise, the biggest takeaway. I don't miss it very much. Like, oh, yeah, it's all right. I miss the fridge. I miss the big old fridge because I'm realizing that I threw out a lot of food. Like, I just had to. I bought a tiny mini fridge for like $100 is that crass? Hope that's not crass. That's not crass. I bought it for $100 at Walmart. Just a little mini fridge what you'd stick in a dorm room or something like that, or maybe like make it a drink fridge or something. I don't have space for that stuff here, so I will not be keeping it. I'm gonna donate it to some college kid on my campus when I'm done. Or I might just keep it in my office. That might be a nice thing to do. I'll see. So yeah. The fridge is tiny, and I had to really rethink what I needed to keep in there. So I ended up like things like hot sauce and ketchup and even jelly don't need to be refrigerated. We refrigerate them because we're of that mentality that we should, but you actually don't have to. And if only I could find European eggs, I could have eggs in the house and not have to refrigerate them. And although the only way I could cook them would be in the microwave, which would be funny. So if I want eggs, I'm going to have to go to a local deli to get like an egg sandwich or something, or whatever I want eggs wise, or a diner. It's New Jersey, right? There's tons of diners. Diners are everywhere in the state, everywhere. Make sure you visit one if you ever come to New Jersey. So yeah, it's been really interesting. It's been very confusing for the cats. I have had to pin them up every day when I leave for work so that they don't get underfoot. I have my older cat is mellow as can be, so chill. He would never deign to be underfoot, but my younger cat is 100% underfoot all the time. So he has a crate that I may have shown in the footage that I put him in, a soft-sided crate. I can't remember if I talked to you in June. In June, I started to have behavioral problems with him, and he's now on Prozac. And I started to crate him at that time because I just was out of my mind. Like, I couldn't figure out what to do with him. And it took my vet some time, and in the meantime, the bad behavior couldn't continue in my house. So I crated him to contain him a little bit, and it really helped. Between the Prozac and the crating, it really helped. He's not crated when I'm home. It's only when I leave. So, and it's only because there's construction now, so I'm hoping I can put the crate away. I left the crate out from when I was having the behavioral problems. Behavioral problems pretty much stopped. I left it out for him because I knew the construction was starting, and I didn't want to confuse him. I just figured it was going to be better for him to keep it out. Anyway, he goes in the crate. It has a litter box. It has everything he needs: food, water, comfy place to sleep, scratching board. And my older cat goes in the bedroom. Same thing. He's got everything in there: litter box, food, water. And I'm not gone that long. Like, my work days are not pretty short, but they're long, but they're not crazy long. My commute's not crazy. Think about this. I leave around 8 in the morning, and I'm home it's not that long. I'm usually home between 2 and 3. So it's only 5 hours. And when I get home, even if the guys are still working here, I've been letting them out. Except unless my younger guy really can't help himself, then he goes back in. My older cat, he can be out. He's fine. He just wants to lay in a cozy spot on the couch or whatever, and he's good. So that's been a little bit topsy-turvy for them, but they'll adjust, and they're going to love the new space. I think I'm going to love the new space. I didn't love my old kitchen. It sucked, to be honest. Like, everything was busted. The dishwasher broke last year. The stove was horrible. I could barely use it. The whole surface would heat up when I turned it on. And my fridge was okay, but the back of the fridge would freeze stuff. Yeah. Like I said, she just used like every single appliance in that kitchen, and the old kitchen was the cheapest of the cheap. Like, as if you had a rental and you wouldn't give renters anything. Like, you want to give them something bare bones because you were positive they were going to break it. That's what she did. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a space I want to be in, and I am content to be in, and excited about being in, and excited about cooking. I think that's me. That's it for this week's episode, and I will be back again in 2 weeks to share a little bit about Vogue. I don't expect to have a lot of footage from that. It's just more I'll talk to you about it. I'll have a little footage. It's really changed a lot since before the pandemic. Like, it was such a huge event before the pandemic, and it's really shrunk a lot, and it really looks like the marketplace has gotten even smaller. I think it's very expensive for vendors to show up there. I do have a skein. I think it'll end up being a skein. I need some sport weight yarn. I feel like I always need sport weight yarn, but I have a project in mind. I'm going to actually swatch for it this coming week, but I need one more color. I thought I had the color in my stash, but I don't like it all that much. So I don't like the color combo as much as I thought I would. I laid them all out earlier this week. So I'm going to I'll be shopping for that. I'll talk to you more about that next week. I'll talk to you about my find. I'm assuming I'll find what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like pink sport weight, non-superwash. It shouldn't be that hard, right? If it is, I did locate some online sources, but I wanted to see if I could buy it in person, because I do want to be able to, like, it's not these yarns, but I want to be able to like hold the yarns together with the color and make sure that I like them all together. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. I hope you're doing well. I hope that your knits are distracting you, or are exciting, or comforting you, or yeah, whatever it is you need. I hope your knitting's meeting that need. Mine sure is. Yeah. It's rough out there. It's not an easy world to live in right now, to exist in, especially for certain types of people. And I hope that we all can find our way back to caring for each other, and recognizing everyone's humanity. Anyway, take care.